Today we're going to jump into editing our core data entity items as well as deleting those entity items or objects. It's going to be a very short and simple video. I'm just going to go over some key basics and how we're going to be able to accomplish this goal of editing and deleting certain selected items. Let's jump right into it. I do have the repo in the description below. I did update it from our last video, so make sure you check it out and you can clone it. The link is below in the description, as well as the final repo once we complete this video will also be in the description below. So getting started, we're going to scroll down here on our home VC. I have already set everything up. I've created a way for our users to swipe on a cell and either edit or delete an object. I've already set up a call to our new user VC and then added some items into that, as well as a new Boolean variable that checks if we are editing the current item or not. So there's nothing we have to do here. Since we are going to start with editing first, we're going to head on over to our new user VC and we're going to scroll on down. What we have here is we have our is editing user in the done button pressed. I have already set that up as well. So this checks if we are currently editing the user. We're going to do this, otherwise we're going to do that. And what I passed as well into this is I passed the name, the headline, and then the selected index row. A more simple way of passing, I could have just passed the row, and then from there in our view did load, select our user based on the row in the array. But we're just going to attack it this way. So if we head on over to our done button pressed, what I'm going to do, we already have our context set up. And then I'm going to take this new item and I'm just going to quickly paste that as something I forgot to do. But since we are creating a new user here, we do not need it if we are editing the current user. Then what we'll do is we're going to let the edited user equal our users, and then that selected row. And like that, we have our edited user. And what we want to do, we might want to unwrap it here. So if let row equals selected index row, and then just do that in case an error occurs or something like that. And so we have our edited user right here. And then what we want to do is we want to update the value of the edited user. So we'll simply just go edited user dot name equals our current name, and then edited user dot headline equals our headline. And just like that, we have updated the values for our selected user. Nothing else we have to do here. We have already saved the context right here, and we are all good to go. Now, if we just quickly build and run this, we will be able to edit our user. So what we'll do here, I do have an empty user right here with no information. That was on my bad. I'm just going to edit this. So I'm going to click on edit, just swipe right to left, edit. And then we're going to give this guy a name of Joe. And then headline, we'll just say CEO. Done. And Joe is updated. Just like that, our core data object is updated and stored correctly. If we go back in and we run this again, Joe should be updated just like that. So now we've learned how to update our data. It's as simple as calling an object, updating the information on that object, and then just simply saving the context so that it gets stored into our entity. Next, what we're going to learn is we're going to learn how to delete an object from our user list and have it completely deleted so that we can never access it again. We head on back over. We're going to go to our home VC, and right here I do have a to-do. I'm just going to remove that. As well, we have already updated that, so we're going to remove that. So back to our home VC, we want to delete the current user that is selected. So we do have a row right here, so we are all good. So we're going to take our row, our user, so let deleting user equals our users dash row. And then from here, what we want to do is we want to delete this user from our context as well as remove this user from our array. So since we save our objects, we want to also remove that object from being saved. A little complicated, but we'll just show you how it's done. First, what we're going to do is we are going to remove this user at the index, and then from here we need to call our context. So what we'll do is we'll let context equals our core data manager dot shared dot persistent container dot view context, and then what we'll do right here is we are going to say context dot delete and then that deleting user object. And just like that, our object is deleted. But before we move on, we do need to save this so that our entities are updated, and then just save context. And just like that, we are able to delete our user. But before we do that, I am going to remove our row. I'm just going to do a table view dot delete rows at index path dot left. And just like that, if we build and run, we will now be able to delete users without having them come back. So we're just going to swipe and delete. Mark, delete. And now if we run this again, they should be gone. And just like that, we have learned how to update our data as well as delete our data. So this is just a small video on how we can manage our objects and update them or remove them simply with a few lines of code. So this will conclude our second video of this segment of core data and Swift. In the next video, I am planning to jump into relationships between objects, such as one-to-many, many-to-many, many-to-one, or one-to-one. And we'll cover that in our XC data model. And then from there, we might even jump into some fetch properties, such as fetching a group of objects by a selected variable, such as a date or a string, or something along the lines of that. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next core data and Swift video.